SMW?
King asked me to do a baby strats tutorial for him.
Oh, you should have asked me to do that. I know more about SMW for dummies than you do.
So this is going to be my baby strats tutorial for King. This will be a mixture of good stuff that's easy to learn and how to get through a stage that's hard to learn. So the first stage you literally can't mess up. There's only one cool trick in the entire stage, and that's figuring out how to get 361. Oh, what I just did you don't have to do. You can just run. You can just run and hold Y and like jump up some steps and like jump over things. I wouldn't get this goal tape. You can for baby strats, like if you just want more health, go ahead and grab it if you want to. And don't feel compelled to do this thing where we jump up there and jump over stuff. Just run out the stage, like 360. Who doesn't love 360? So, this next stage, you can learn it a bunch of different ways. Speedrunners do this thing where we jump off of this box here. That's kind of hard to learn. Basically all you're doing is you're running right until you get to right here. So if you look at the map, it's broken up into tiles, so like 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Like you can see where it's just like a tile-based grid. You know, here's 2 tiles right here. 1 tile, 2 tiles. If you notice this portion between this black wall and this black wall, these lines, there's 3 tiles. 1, 2, 3. I jump from this point, the line in between the first and second tile. That's how you get the box jump, is I just run right, and when I get to that point, I jump, and then full jump, and then full jump. And the benefit of that is that then you can have P speed, you can have full running speed, because otherwise if you like go up here, you can make it through the stage just fine, but it's very hard to get running speed. Like, you see now I got running speed, and if you get it, that's great, but like it's kind of tough to get it. So that's why everyone does box jump. But if you don't feel comfortable doing box jump, we'll just do this. You'll notice a lot of people, they try to run on these wooden platforms as much as possible. And the reason for that is as soon as you step on it, it starts to move to the right. And you want the platform to push you forward as you're going. Like that's the goal here. So I'm going to run, and you notice I try to stay on the wooden platform as much as possible. That allows me to continue being pushed forward. A lot of people like these white platforms, you stay on them as much as possible. So this part right here is a little bit of a challenge for some people. The goal ultimately is to get up there with your full running speed. And that can be really tough if you're new to this. But basically what you're aiming for is I want to land here with my first jump, and I want to land here with my second jump. That's not too hard. I mean, you can do that. It takes a little bit of practice. Some people actually prefer to land on the red Koopa. I don't like to do that. I don't like it. It's not fun for me. The next part is I jump here. You want to make sure you don't run into that red Koopa up there. If you run into that red Koopa up there, you're going to have a bad time. Whatever. This stage right here is one of the hardest to actually learn how to speedrun. It's a real challenge. A lot of it's timing, and it's just fucking miserable. The stage isn't that hard when you know where you're going. So there's a very specific set of platforms I try to land on. So I land on this one right here, then I jump to this one, and now there's a trick here where you can jump and you can land on the shell. That's stupid and hard, so we're just going to run off, get rid of the shell, and if you continue holding Y, you'll get your P speed back. It's not that bad. So we'll just get to that platform. This platform, this platform, this platform, and we're here. So that's what we're interested in so far. Why don't I turn big? I'll show you why I don't turn big. As long as you hold Y and right here, you'll get your P speed back pretty quickly. Now, a lot of people do some really complicated things after the halfway point in this stage, so let me get to the halfway point and make a save state. So, a lot of people do this like really weird thing where it's like you jump to the second platform and then you try to make it all the way over. But you'll notice that that big spiky ball is actually really, like, it overlaps this platform right here. And so it can be somewhat hard to make it all the way over there. I wouldn't bother. Honestly, because all you have to do is when you get to here, if you've got running speed and you jump from right here, you'll land on the first platform, which is perfectly clear for you at the time. And from there, you can jump to the third platform and you'll make it there safely. So that looks something like this. So first and third platform's a lot easier. That's another thing that a lot of people like to do because they think it looks cool, is if you full jump from the end of that platform right there, so you're right here, if you full jump from the end of this platform, you land on the fish, fuck that fish, man. Like, the number of times you're going to nail that and just look real cool, it's not worth it. Just land on that platform. Just don't even bother. So here's where I'm going to explain why I want to be small. First, so let me make a save state right here. First, let me get big really quickly. Let me just grab a mushroom. Or a gold tape. I don't care.
Man, this girl is moving.
So if I'm big, you have like a 1-frame window where you can make this jump. What you want to do is you want to spin jump under this first Koopa. It's not 1 frame, it's really small. That jump's somewhat hard to make if you're big. Like, you have to time it just right. Like, if you run right here, you have to time it just right to make it underneath that Koopa. But if you're small, it's wide open. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to run right at the beginning, and I'm going to spin jump at the end of the platform. Just tap. And you make it under that Koopa just fine when you're small. Then here, I'm going to grab onto the fence. Like, there's really no reason to try to do anything fancy here, you know. Like, it's just as easy to just, like, grab the fence and jump again. When you see me, like, try to grab the fence optimally and jump optimally, I'm saving, like, an in-game second. Which, for anyone who doesn't know, an in-game second isn't even a full wall clock second. So I want this fire flower. So I'm going to show you the Iggy fight now. So a good looking Iggy fight is 2 fireballs, jump on his head, and then just fireball him off the edge. There's a few other strats that people do. There's this one where it's like 5 fireballs while you slide down. It's so hard to do though. Anyway, don't do that. The reason why Fire Flower is so nice here is because you can use it to push him without having to get near him. Alternatively, you can do like the spin jump strats.
Thing I've ever seen. The girl left the item in the room, like she touched it and then left the item.
Really?
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a dumb fight. You get it with practice. Basically, you just want to shoot 2 fireballs as soon as you enter the room, jump on his head, and then fireball him off the edge. So that's good enough for us. From here on, I'm going to assume that you know how to fly. Learning how to fly really well takes a lot of practice. Like, it's not something that's really easy, so if you feel frustrated because you don't fly really well, don't worry about it, it's not easy. But just, I'm going to assume that you learn how to fly. You should practice how to fly. So, really our only goal here is just to get a cape, which means regular jumping on that guy, and then just finishing the stage. And really what I just did, where I just jumped on his head, that's perfectly fine. If you want to get fancy, I mean, there's fancy, you can jump on him and grab it and, like, get on your way immediately. There's, like, a trick where you can jump up 1 frame on him. I've never been good at it. It's really fucking hard. God, the timing is so tough. I don't know how anyone ever does this. Anyway, there's a bunch of different ways you can do it. The easiest way to do it is just to, like, you know, wait for him to come to you and just bop him. Like, if you're just doing baby strats, that's perfectly fine. And then you just get going. There's 1,000 fancy ways for doing that cape grab at the beginning of that stage. At the end of the day, just flying through this. So you want to fly above the screen, so it's an audio thing for you, or at least rhythm, because you want to fly above this green pipe to get this key and put it in the keyhole. Now, that said, there are some backups, like if you mess that up. Like, some people find it really hard to fly above the screen consistently. Like, if your flying is not really optimal, like sometimes you'll be like, oh god, I can't get above the screen, but don't panic. So I know that the green pipe is coming up in a second. It'll come up right after this platform, right here. So the green pipe's gonna come up. Ugh, gross.
For your Donald Duck going quackers. That has author blues written all over it.
So I'm flying here. Let's say I can't get above the screen, and that's fine. It's sometimes tough. You can actually just dive bomb. Like if you just hold right after I've run into the pipe. Like, so let's say I'm here and I'm panicking. Like there's no way I can get above the screen fast enough. If I just hold right, I can go into a dive bomb, and it'll eventually start me moving forward again as soon as I can. Still want to learn how to switch flying directions with the glide on command? I don't know what you're saying. I don't know if you're making a joke. I'm not familiar with what you mean by that. Alright, so this stage. This is the only swimming stage in any percent. A lot of people who start playing this game find it very hard to control their swimming. Like every time you hit B, like you just kind of like go up and out of control, and it feels really tough to control Mario. But the number one trick you can learn in this game for how to control yourself is hold down while you swim. So this is what it looks like when I hit B when I'm swimming normally. If I hold down, you'll notice that I don't really pop up very much when I hit B. I kind of like just move slowly. And holding down really controls my swim better. And you can hold up if you need to go up faster, but if you hold down while you're just trying to swim normally, you'll find that's a lot easier. Now, this is the typical strat for this stage. You grab a shell. The thing that they don't tell you though when you speedrun this game, when people start speedrunning this game, is that trick literally saves half a second. That's all it saves. And for a lot of new people, grabbing that shell optimally is tough. And grabbing it optimally may waste even a half a second already, if not way more. So this is probably a little bit of a better strat for you, is to just swim normally through here. Because if you just swim normally through here, I mean, you'll eventually get to here and get these blue blocks, which are just perfectly fine. And you land on the... Ugh, gross. I need to make more save states so I don't feel stupid when I mess up. That music will never stop now. So I'm swimming, I'm swimming, I'm swimming. So I'm going to show you what you should be planning to do if you're new to this game. You should be skipping that shell because it's really not worth it for new players. You should come up here, grab a blue block, and get rid of it here. I don't want it anymore. Now I'm going to pick up the P switch. I'm going to swim, and I'm going to face this way and drop it against this wall to hit it. That way it doesn't go all over the place. $88, when you fly, if you hit the Y or the X button, you'll spin, and you have a 50-50 shot of which direction you face. There's almost no case in which that's useful, except for in a task, maybe. So, the fast strat for this next stage is not hard to do. You can learn it pretty quickly. So this is me going into the stage, and this would be the casual way to do it. You know, you'd run up here, and I'd wait for this guy, and then I'd come over here. I'd go, and I'd make it in this door. And then when I come here, like, I'm stuck, right? There's no way for me to move fast here. I have to wait for this boo ring. And then, yeah. Then I fly up here. And I go in the door. But we can do better than that. So the trick here is I'm going to run right. And as soon as I make it to here, the top step on the stairs, right around here, I'm going to tap B. I'm just going to tap B. So I'm holding Y and right the whole time, and I just tap B at the top of the stairs. Boop. And that will dive bomb. If I continue to hold right and Y, I will dive bomb into the boo ring. Boom. And then I run left. So I made it inside safely, faster than I would have otherwise if I had waited for the boo ring. Alright, so now I'm in here. What do I do next? So I made it in here. I dive bomb through the boo ring. I'm going to do a quick turn back, and I'm going to fall down, and I'm going to jump over. So that's pretty straightforward. It's just run right, tap, do a quick turn back, and jump over. And that jump over is a spin jump. It's just a tap jump, and you're going to feel scared. You're going to feel like, oh, I'm not going to be able to make it over the boos, but you can. You just make it over. And the nice thing is if you get out of there as fast as possible, the boo ring actually unloads in a specific state. It unloads at a specific rotation. So the point was we wanted to get out of there as fast as possible at just the right time, so that when we get to this next boo ring, it's at the perfect rotation for us to do what we want to do. Yeah, it's been there for a while. So the reason why I did this is because I actually got out of there. I unloaded that boo ring at the perfect time. And that perfect time allows me to do this right here. Oh, fuck you. You goddamn asshole. So that little spin jump over the boo ring takes some practice. But I unload it just the right time to be able to do this, where I spin jump up here. And this gets me in here as fast as possible. So that was the whole point of that. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a block and I'm going to come over here and I'm going to hit him, and I'm going to resist the urge to do anything right now. I'm just going to chill out facing these boos so that they don't move. I'm going to hit him the next time and I'm going to come over here, I'm going to face the boos again so that they don't move.
And the last hit's a little tricky.
Now, two things you need to know about this fight. The first thing is that the only thing in the game, in that room that's dangerous is those boos. The big boo can't hurt you. He can't touch you. He can't hurt you in any way. He's invulnerable to you and you're invulnerable to him. And the second thing to know is that because those throw blocks are on a timer, don't feel rushed to pick one up. Pick one up when you need it. You know, don't grab one and hold on to it all day, because all that's going to happen is it's going to disappear in your hands. You know, there's no rush to use it. So you grab it, you throw it when you need it. This stage you can do, so there's obviously the fast strat with the zips. It takes some practice. You know, this is the way a speedrunner would do it. It doesn't save a ton of time. It saves a good amount of time for a speedrunner, but really, just attempting to do any sort of a zip when you're not really good at it usually wastes time over saving time. You get a 283 just by falling down through the blocks like normal, so just fucking do that. I mean, there's honestly no rush. Just, if you want to zip, like, you can learn to zip later. Right now, this is perfectly fine. I got 284 that time. Go me. Alright, so this stage. This stage is the water stage. I'm going to show you how to do it the way that Sky does it. And then I'm going to show you the way to do it that I do it. Honestly, the star is useful in like peace of mind sense, but it's really not very risky to do it without the star. So if you're like honestly thinking about like I want to speedrun this game, don't be afraid to do it without the star. So this is the way that Sky does it. You know, she grabs the star, come down, grab the blue Yoshi, and then just makes her way through the stage. She stays somewhat...
Stay at the bottom.
Yeah, she stays pretty low. I don't like that because then ultimately you end up having to kind of like press yourself against the ground. I don't like pressing myself against the ground because you lose speed.
Yoshi's supposed to eat that last
I'm not supposed to grow.
You won't grow.
I think I ate too many, but that's not the point. So... Oh, fuck. Oh, okay. We're not zipping? Whatever, man. So, I'm going to show you how to do Star World 2 without the star. It's not very hard to do. It's actually really easy. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the stage holding down and right, and I'm going to hold Y the whole time. The whole stage I'm going to hold Y. Alright? I'm holding down and right and Y the whole time. And what I'm going to do is when I get close to the ground here, 1, 2, 3, 4, I grab that, and I have my thumb on Y so that I can hold Blue Yoshi, and I just roll my thumb up to tap X in order to spin my cape. And that's what keeps me safe when I'm going through some of these guys. Alright, so that's pretty straightforward. So once I've done that, that allows me to get above the screen. And I'm not going to do anything to prevent myself from being up there. I'm not going to tap down. You can't go too high on the screen. Nothing will happen. And I'm just going to swim right for a while. Alright? Now, you see this line of fish right here. This is the line of fish I'm looking for. It's the first downward slope you'll see. It's just 3 guys in a downward slope. Alright? These are the guys I'm looking for the whole time. What I'm going to do is as soon as I can't see that second guy anymore, as soon as that second guy leaves the screen, as soon as the right-hand side of his body hits the left-hand side of the screen, so I can't see him anymore, I'm going to start holding down. And that's the only thing I have to do. And that will safely get me down here. And I swim under. Now, you can like do fancy stuff to try to swim up here without clipping anything, but it's stupid, who cares? Whatever. You still with me? Okay. We're on to the hard stage. This is the hardest stage in the whole run. You run right, you jump up so you can fly up here, you grab the key, and you put it in the hole. Hardest stage in the game. There's faster strats, you don't care about them. That's the strat you want. So this stage has like at least a dozen different ways to do it. I don't care. You're gonna do what works for you. So this is a safe way to do it. I'm gonna fly above this. Oh, fuck you. This is why I don't do it this way, but this is the safer way. If I can just learn to fly properly. So I'm gonna try to get up above the screen so I can fly above these Koopas here. And now I'm gonna come down just a little bit. And when I see this next line of Koopas right here, I'm going to fly between these 2 platforms. Boom, Bob's your uncle. You got yourself a key and a keyhole. But you know what? You're better than that. I trust in you, alright? We're going to assume that you've already learned to fly. I'm just going to tap jump here. I'm going to fly at the bottom of the screen. I remember back when I was first learning this game, me and Proclaw were learning it. He used to call this trick, or he used to call this stage like Mustache Ride, because his visual cue was when Mario's mustache hits the bottom of the screen, he'd tap left. That's how low he wanted to be. So anytime he was at the bottom of the screen, or anytime Mario's mustache hit the bottom of the screen, he'd tap left. Because you want to fly under these 2 platforms, these 2 low ones. This is the low one, and this is the lower one. And at this point now, you're at a race against time to gain height. And that's the real hard part for people who are learning to fly, is you have to gain height. And gaining height with a cape is not easy. It takes practice. So if you can gain enough height there, Now you have yourself a key, and you put it in the keyhole. No big deal. You still with me? We can do this. Together, we can do anything. Alright, now I'm going to teach you Bowser's Castle. You've heard a lot of different strats for Bowser's Castle. I'm going to teach you the right way to do it. Alright? You want to do doors 2 and 5. Alright? The first thing I'm going to do is I could just run into 2, right? And then I could, like, you know, fucking and then float and then, oh, but I ran into that. Fuck them. I don't give a shit about that. This trick's not that hard, okay? I'm going to run right, and I'm going to bonk my head. I'm just going to tap B. I'm going to bonk my head against this block right here. That's what I want to do. And the reason I want to do that is because I want to enter this door in a body slide. So that I can do that. Isn't that nice? Isn't that something you'd be interested in doing? So to do that, all you have to do, enter this door on a body slide, hold right and Y when you enter the room, and just tap B. It's really easy to do. Okay? So I'm holding right and Y right now, I tap B to bonk my head, and I enter the door in a body slide. Pretty easy to do. Now I hold right and Y, tap B, and I immediately go into flight. It's really not that hard to do. Tap B, bonk your head, enter the door, hold B and right, or hold Y and right, and tap B. So I'm holding Y and right, and I tap B, enter the door, hold Y and right, tap B, go into flight. Now you have like a, like a 2 or 3 frame window when you enter this room to hit B before you lose your flight trigger, but it's okay, you can do it. I believe in you. Basically, you just want to tap B the moment you see Mario appear, because you'll notice when you enter a room, like the room kind of loads, but Mario doesn't appear for a second. And then as soon as he appears, you just hit B, right? It's pretty easy. So I'm running right, hold right and Y, tap B, enter the door, hold right and Y, tap B, start flying. How you like that? Alright, next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to enter room 5. Now, when I enter room 5, I'm going to not fucking touch anything. Now, here's a moment where we can kind of observe what's going on here. You'll notice that the very first spiky column here, it has spikes on either side of it, right? There's spikes on the left and spikes on the right. Alright, I'm only interested in the spikes that are in the foreground. So, of those we can see 4. There's 1 at ground level, and then there's 3 more going up the left-hand side of it. Alright? Counting from the ceiling, I look down 3 spikes. Okay? And I want to wait until that pillar right there, that spiky pillar, the middle of it hits the ceiling. So as soon as it starts going up, boom. See that one that's about to hit the ceiling? I wait until that, you can't see me just point at it. I can't do that. Here's my screen. See that? I wait until this one right here, that's about to hit the ceiling. I wait until this one hits the ceiling. Okay? How you like that for ghetto? You like ghetto? So I'm basically going to unpause and start running. And you'll notice I just barely run under it, and I make it all the way safely. How sick was that? Alright, so let me do door 2 first. Now I do door 5, and I just fucking wait. I just fucking wait. And as soon as that spike on the third spike down, as soon as it hits the ceiling, boom. Alright, so here we are in the dark room. Now you may have played this dark room before as a kid, and you turn on the light. Fuck this light. Causes lag. We don't need it. We can see perfectly fine. We are adults with vision that works. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to run right, and I'm going to spin fly against this ceiling right here. Alright, learn to recognize this ceiling. I want to basically hit my head against this point right here. Alright? So I'm going to run right. I'm going to hit my head against that ceiling by hitting A. I'm just going to hold it. Land on that guy. So I run right, holding X, and hold A to hit my head against the ceiling there. get in here. One more time. Bonk head against ceiling. These are baby strats. Okay. So this is the Bowser fight. You can do cape kill. Cape kill's hard. Okay. So I'm going to show you how to do this without cape kill. Alright. So first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to wait patiently. Nothing to do here. Just wait. I grab this Mecha Koopa and I'm going to throw it straight up to the left. Boom. I just hit him once. Alright. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bonk this Mecha Koopa and I'm just going to hold on to him for a second. Kick him. I'm going to throw him up so that he hits Bowser the second time. And now I've got a spare Mecha Koopa. Okay? These are very useful. These are very, 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 very useful. You gotta kick him around a little bit so that he doesn't wake up. This is not just for my own pleasure, kicking him around like this. If you don't kick him around, he'll wake up. You don't want him to wake up. Now I'm just gonna chill out over here. Alright, we're just gonna wait. Stay in the corner. Place him to the right of me. And, you know, bonk him again if you gotta. You know? He needs to stay asleep. So what I did there was, it's incredibly difficult timing, but I skipped one of his ball phases. I dropped the Mecha Koopa on his head right as he was about to drop another ball. Okay? So you can do that, you don't have to do that, it's not necessary. Basically just throw that Mecha Koopa at him before he gets around to throwing 2 more Mecha Koopas. Because we only want to have to hit him one more time, but we want there to be 2 more Mecha Koopas. Alright? And I'm going to hit him with that one. Figuring out how to hit him from below can be really challenging. It's not something I can teach you how to do. You basically just have to understand the way he moves and the speed he moves and figure out how to throw it optimally for that. We really want a Mecha Koopa here. Okay? We really, really want a Mecha Koopa here. And I'll explain why. The reason why we want a spare Mecha Koopa at this point is because his phase 3 is where he starts bouncing around. And he'll bounce 8 times. Usually. He'll usually bounce on the ground 8 times, and he'll stop, and he'll throw out Mecha Koopas, and he'll repeat. If you can hit him at the very beginning of this phase, instead of bouncing 8 times, he'll bounce 5 times, which, as you might imagine, saves 3 bounces. That's time. That's time in your pocket you can spend on whatever else you want to do, you know, smoking cigars or eating fine cheeses, whatever you want to do. So I'm going to teach you how to hit him with this Mecha Koopa. Alright, and the trick is I want to make sure the Mecha Koopa lines up with Bowser at exactly the moment where his hitbox exists again. Alright, so when Bowser starts to appear, he doesn't actually have a hitbox. You know, I'm sitting down here, there's no Bowser hitbox right now. What's going to happen is Bowser's going to pull himself up, right? He's going to pull himself up out of the little flying thing. He's going to put his hands on the edge and he's going to pull himself up. Well, this isn't smooth movement, it's sprites, right? It's sprites that are transitioning. One sprite, next sprite, next sprite. I'm going to wait for the third one. So his hands will appear, that's one sprite. He'll pull himself up a little bit, that's the second sprite. And he'll pull himself up a little bit more, that's the third sprite. I want to just stand below him, holding up, and I want to let go of Y when I see the third sprite. Okay? 1, 2, 3. And that'll hit him. Alright, now he's only going to bounce 5 times. 2, 3, 4, 5. Neat, right? At this point, it's just a matter of grabbing a Mecha Koopa and knowing where he's going to be. So I missed that first one, but I had a spare one. Who cares? Time ends the moment you see Peach. Peach. Boom. Is that Flaggle stand? So now I'll show you what it looks like with Cape Kill. So I'm standing over here. 2. I wait till he's right here, where you see the bottom of his propeller is overlapping How much time does that ball skip strat save? A few seconds, 5 seconds. I wait till his propeller is overlapping that third from the right block. You see the blocks that are sticking up? When his propeller's overlapping that one in particular, I run right and I jump up at the edge of the screen. And I just float down holding B. Then I kill this one, and I wait till his propeller is overlapping that same block again. I hit him again. This is not baby strats. This is showing you a comparison of what it looks like to do it with cape kill. So I'm hitting him like optimally. I'm hitting him as early as possible. I'm not hitting him any extra times. I'm not killing him faster, except for the fact that I don't have to wait for the Mecha Koopa to hit the ground and throw it back up. I'm hitting him while the Mecha Koopa is right above his head. That's what's beneficial about this. So as soon as this ball appears, I'm going to run right, fly up the right-hand side of the screen, and above the screen I'm going to turn left, and I'm going to let go of all the buttons in order to drop it on his head. I actually messed that up. I messed that up so bad. Let me just start over for a second. I'll make a save state at the beginning of the second phase. You gotta let go of Y. So I'm standing over here holding Y. At that point, I run right, and I fly up the right-hand side of the screen. I let go of Y and hold B. Then I kill this one. Fly up. There we go. What? I've never seen that before. That's actually new to me. Interesting. I hit the wrong one. I want to hit the one on the left. Basically, I want to stay leftmost against the wall as I'm floating back down that time. Apparently my cape kill is very, very rusty. I want to float back down the left-hand side of the screen. There we go. Not that hard. What gets me to do a no Star World commentary? I can do a no Star World commentary, but it's much longer, and a lot of those strats are a lot more advanced, so there's not always baby strat versions of it. So I've got a save state here. Boom, we're hiding. Fly up above the screen. Turn left. Let go of all buttons in order to drop it on his head. I'm gonna wait until he gets to this point right here. You see the second block that's sticking up, roughly right below where he is right now. I want to wait until he moves to the left of it, and then I want to run to the right and run up the screen. And that'll allow me to drop that right on his head. So, you don't have to do any of those cape kill hits if you don't want to, but the last one's actually really, really easy. And so, if you're new to this game and you want to incorporate the very last phase's cape kill, you can. It's not too difficult. So I'm going to do this first. And I'm just going to stand over here. And when he bounces the third time, it seems like it's going to crush you where you're standing right here, but it's not going to crush you. It won't kill you. It's safe. You stand here, and as soon as you feel like you're about to get crushed, you hold right and run to the right, and I'm going to fly up the left, or fly up the right-hand side of the screen. And that's going to fly me above the screen, and as soon as I'm no longer visible, I'm going to let go of Y, continue holding B, and just hold left. I don't have to do anything fancy. I just let go of Y, and I start holding left. So this is what this looks like. Fly up the right-hand side of the screen, let go of B, or let go of Y, and hold left. Hold right, fly up the screen, let go of Y, and hold left. I'm not doing anything else fancy there. Hold right. Fly up the screen. Let go of Y and hold left. Now there's two reasons why that's beneficial. That hits him as early as possible as far as the Mecha Koopa landing on his head. And the other nice thing is because he's already at the top of the screen, Bowser's flying ship doesn't have to float up to be high enough. It's already high enough.